Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleeds podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
Overall, I'm outstanding. I've got some gripes that I want to go over with you, but
Uh-huh.
I'm great.
I love it.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good, man. We had our very last two basketball practices of the year, girls and boys. Had some fun. Still got a little yelling in,
Good.
Still got a little stern every now and then. Can't let it get out of control fun.
Still got games to win.
Right. Still got playoffs coming off this weekend. Um, so the girls, there's like four different divisions, and they try to like even them up for the playoffs. They
Mhm.
they bring it into three tournaments, right, from the four divisions. So you don't have to play in the tournament. So some teams don't play at all. Then they have like a gold, silver, bronze.
Gotcha.
So the girls are in the silver for their age group.
Okay.
So they are 7-3. They have the 6 seed, 5 or 6 seed out of 8. The 1 seed,
7-3's got the 5 or 6
the
seed.
1 seed is 7-3. There's like almost every team's the same as us.
Oh,
The 1 seed is 7-3, and of their three losses, two of them were to us. How is that? How does that make sense? How are we? And they're in our division. Like we played them. We've beat them twice and have the same record.
do they do points for and against, or
Why would that be the first tiebreaker? How is head to head not the first tiebreaker?
yeah,
Anyway,
that doesn't make sense.
points against, they give up like no points. It's that team we played last week. I was telling you, it's incredible defensive team. Um, but how that doesn't even make sense to me.
It is pretty
Head to
strange.
head should always be the first tiebreaker, right?
I would think.
Head to head
Yeah.
should always be the first tiebreaker. Anyway, so we go from the 1 seed to the 6 seed or something. Is what it is. We play our way out of the bottom, baby. I ain't scared.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're pretty even anyway.
Yeah, everybody in it's pretty even. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yep. The boys got the 3 seed in the silver, which is
Nice.
huge. That's big. Wasn't expecting that. We started off slow, but every team in this is definitely beatable. We definitely have some beatable teams.
Very good.
So anyway, um, yeah, yeah. So fun weekend coming up.
Got the
Speaking of
tournament.
basketball, though, I
Mhm.
want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Top of your head, okay?
Yep.
You were at the Indiana Pacers versus the Denver Nuggets basketball game.
That's right.
That was on Tuesday or Monday.
Monday.
Okay, so on Monday. So
So
in that
4 days
game,
from when we're recording this.
Nikola Jokic,
Hmm.
probably the current best player in the NBA,
Yeah.
back-to-back MVPs. Was it 3 out of the last 4 years he's had an MVP?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe it's not back-to-back, but 3 out of the last four, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had 19 assists,
Indeed.
which is second place for centers. Okay, he's second place on the list of assists in a game for a center.
Hmm.
Okay, so I have the top 25. Okay, game centers. Sorry, it's so hard to say.
Yeah.
Games where with
Assist games for centers.
yes,
Yeah.
highest assist games for centers.
Yeah.
Top 25. And this goes back to 1967.
Okay.
Okay. So top 25. Do you know who number one is? I just told you Jokic is number two with 19. Do you know number one is 21? So it's three more assists, sorry, two more assists than what he had. Do you have an idea who number one would be?
Is it Will?
It is Wilt.
Yeah.
Wilt was 21. I'll tell you what. Do you think you can name any of the other players in the top 25?
I can just throw out guesses
Go ahead.
like a Bill Walton.
No.
I'm gonna say Vlade Divac,
No.
a Chris Webber.
Nope.
I'm
I
gonna
feel like
go
Weber would be considered a four, right?
probably. Yep. Arvydas Sabonis.
No. I'll
Then
let you know that the top 25, it's 15. 15 is that
next
number
time.
is the last.
Oh,
25th is 15
okay.
and number 1 is 21.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, which really didn't change any of my guesses because I'm just thinking about good
So
passing big men.
I'm gonna give them to you. I'm gonna read these off.
Oh,
Oh no,
are
go
there
go
a
ahead,
lot
go,
of
go
older
ahead.
guys?
Let's see. One, two, three, four, five. There's probably five older guys on here.
Bill Russell one?
No,
Somebody like a George Mikan or a Dolph Shays or a
nope. I'll make it easy.
go ahead.
I was playing with you. It's Wilt, Jokic, Wilt, Jokic, Jokic,
Oh,
Jokic, Jokic,
okay.
Jokic, Wilt, Jokic, 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 Wilt, Jokic, Jokic, Jokic.
I love it.
Is that insane?
That makes perfect sense.
So
Yes.
can we I mean, this we have to say that Nikola Jokic is going to be a probably a top 10. He's going to be a top 10 all time when he's done.
Yeah, as
I,
long as he plays for a little
how
while.
much longer does he need to play? 4 years, 5 years, and does he need to play that much more? Adam,
Yeah,
Adam, 20 of the top 25 assists per game in a game
in a game.
in
Yeah.
a game are him,
Yeah.
and the only other guy on here is the greatest. Is some people will tell you is the most dominant player to ever play the game
Yeah.
in Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
In most people's top five, definitely in everybody's top 10.
Hmm. Yeah.
That like it's unbelievable to
Yeah.
me. That's just crazy.
That's awesome. I mean, I like Jokic more and more all the time. I think the only thing that would keep him, the only
That
reason he would have to play for a little while longer is the totals. You can, of course, he's gonna, he'll end up with the most assists per game, probably average or something. Um, but people I think would want to see like points, rebounds, assists, how high he gets on those total
I mean,
lists.
he's got to be there too, though. Except for, I mean, Wilt's stupid, right? Wilt's
Hmm.
numbers are stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not dropping 50, he's not averaging 50 a night like Wilt did,
Right.
right? Like,
Right.
that's not happening.
Yeah.
Could he? Maybe.
Uh-huh. Yeah, if he stopped passing the ball.
If Denver, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
If Denver traded Jokic, who is what? How old is Jokic? He's not that old, right?
Mm,
Is he 30 yet?
30, 31, something
Okay.
like that, maybe.
If they traded Jokic for another big man who was, maybe injured at the time and some first round picks, uh, do you think when that trade was made that everybody in the media would just start talking about how he's out of shape and that's the reason they should have traded him and it was a good idea? Do you think that would happen like what happened to Luka Doncic because he's just as out of shape as Luka is.
He looks like it. Yeah.
Neither of them play like they're out of shape. They both just look like they're out of shape.
Yeah.
That's all Luka is. He looks like he's out of shape.
Yeah. Yeah. Luca's, I guess, I don't know, maybe just because he's a little bit smaller, like shorter, and he plays a guard position.
He's like
That's
2
probably
inches smaller than him. Basically the
nah.
same.
Jokic is 7 feet or 7'1", and Luca's like 6'8", right?
Luka's 6'10" or 6'11". He's huge.
No, he's not 6'11". um, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's continuing to be said, by the way, by people in the Mavericks organization. Like,
Of
there's
course.
still the same
It's
things
not
being said,
surprising.
like consistently. So I don't think it's. I don't know. I believe it because I've heard it so many times, reported so many times from multiple
Holy
people in that
cow.
organization.
How far off was I? Why do I think Luka's so tall?
Yeah,
Why did I think Luka's so tall?
is he listed at 6'8" or 6'7" maybe?
That one can't be right.
What does it say? 6'3"?
It said 6'6".
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, they have him as 6'6" on ESPN. No
Wow.
way. Luke is bigger than 6'6".
I thought 6'8", 6'7", I could see.
What's LeBron?
6'8".
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's crazy to me. Why does he feel like he's so much bigger? How does
I don't know.
he rebound? He's a good rebounder too, right? I don't know. Is he?
Yeah, I mean he probably averages 8 rebounds or something like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I think Jokic would have to kind of be. They would have to get to a point where they were losing a lot, and he was a little past his prime, and to even consider that he would be traded,
I was
you know,
just
where they
well,
have
we
to
all thought that for
rebuild.
Luca too. Um,
Yeah, I guess so.
I was just kidding. I just can't stand that
I,
conversation.
I know you really don't like
I hate it.
that. Um, okay. So that was fun. That was the assists and I got to
And
witness the
you got to
second.
witness the second most
Mhm.
ever.
And it's my favorite part of his game.
Mhm.
So that was fun. Yep. Uh, yep. Good game. Denver won that game, and it was a pretty quick game. Probably the earliest I've ever gotten home from a Pacers
Is
game.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. Dropped my brother off at like 11:15.
Oh wow, nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep. Pretty good. Um, anyway, couple of quick hitters for you.
Let's do it.
I've got saw a stat about Will Clark since we're
Yeah,
talking
let's
about.
go.
Did you know? Shoot, I should have asked. Do you know? Like I told you the thing and said, do you know who it is? I already told you Will
Will
Clark.
Clark.
Yeah, that's you're good. You're good. That's why you're good at baseball trivia. Um, I saw a thing. I don't remember where I saw it, so I guess there's a chance that it could be false, but it seemed factual. Double A, triple A, single A, double A, triple A, Major League Baseball. First at bat in every level was a home run for him.
What? Wow.
First at
That's
bat
pretty cool.
on each level,
Wow, that's
home
pretty
run.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. One other quick baseball thing. Did you see the kid in college, Portland University or University of Portland? Perfect game. Okay.
Really? Okay.
9 inning, perfect game. So full game, 86 pitches.
Whoa.
That's Greg Maddox stuff.
Holy cow.
Except he pitched a perfect game. I don't think Maddox ever pitched a perfect
That's
game
what that's 9.1 pitches per game, per inning.
per inning. Yeah. 12 strikeouts.
Pitch to contact, baby. I love it.
Yeah.
Pitch to contact.
Yeah.
Pitch to contact. I've
Yep.
been trying to talk to my kids all winter about how frustrating it is for you to want to just blow everything by somebody or strike everybody out. I don't want you to strike anybody.
Mhm.
Give me a ground ball. Keep it low in the zone. Give me a ground ball.
Yep.
God, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Nice
That's cool.
job.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah,
I
that
thought
was a
you'd,
Greg Maddox
I
type.
don't know why I didn't write his name down, but anyway, University of Portland, I'm sure it'd be easy to look up. Uh,
UP. UP.
last quick thing. Probably deserves more than just a quick thing, but we'll make it quick. Diana Taurasi, the WNBA's all-time leading scorer, um, and three-point field goal maker, has retired.
She played forever.
20 years.
Hmm.
20 years, 6 Olympic gold medals, three-time champ, one-time MVP, like 11-time all WNBA.
That
Um,
surprises me that it's only 11 of
me
the
too.
20 years. That's surprising.
Me too.
Because Diana Taurasi is just that, like, everybody remembers her at UConn. Like, you
Hmm.
remember they won every single year she was at UConn, I feel like.
Hmm.
Might not be true, but it felt like it. And that she was a big, not like a Caitlin Clark hater, but a big hater, big media hater, like the media of Caitlin Clark she didn't like.
Oh,
She came out with the whole, hey, she's never even played in a WNBA game. She
right.
doesn't know what it's like here. And
Hmm.
she got pretty physical with Caitlin when the game got going.
Sure. Yeah. That was a totally legit point to make too. I mean,
100%.
I
100%.
felt the same thing about when LeBron came in with all that hype.
Hmm.
Like, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
people come in with that hype a lot.
I know.
Just you're talking about a couple people that lived up to it. It just
Sure.
doesn't get lived up to.
Right. Right.
But Caitlin Clark's hype, that's the most hype that might be bigger than the LeBron hype going to the coming out his senior year.
Could be. Yep.
Her coming out of college, that was, I mean, comparatively, maybe not the most covered, although it was hugely covered. But if you take what the WNBA is compared to what the NBA is, and
Mhm.
what she was compared to what he was, she might have been a little bit bigger, and he was huge.
Yeah. Yep. My mistake. Total 14-time All NBA,
That's a little better.
10-time first team, 4-time second team.
That's better.
Um, 2-time Finals MVP in those three championships. She was Rookie of the Year. Let's see, 2-time Naismith Award in
Can we
college.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's a wig she wears?
No.
You don't think so?
Diana Taurasi?
Yeah.
I've never seen a wig that tight.
Dude, I think it's plastic. I don't think it's
Think
even
it's
a
a think
wig.
it's a helmet.
I think it's a helmet. I think she's got a helmet on. She ain't never had a flyaway in her life. And I learned what flyaways are from dance now.
What
She
is that?
ain't like your little baby hairs kind of dancing out in front, like didn't quite
Oh,
make it to the ponytail, because they're not long enough.
okay.
Little flyaway. She ain't never had a flyaway in her life.
Is that no, she hasn't. Is that well, she probably puts something in it,
Yeah,
to keep
definitely.
it
Yeah,
down
it's a
for
helmet,
sure.
plastic. It's a
Yeah.
helmet. It's melted polypropylene.
Melted polypropylene. It's something. It's some sort of chemical for sure.
I love that though. That is one thing that I love. I love like my girls always want their hair up in a high ponytail for basketball. They want to put their little headband on, to keep their, I love that about girls basketball. Like
Yeah.
I like that.
There's
Like
a style.
you don't need I don't want somebody who's doing their hair all the time. Like
Mhm.
just get it wet, slick it back, put it in a ponytail, let's go ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember like in seeing kids. I remember like even when we played at like Western Sports Mall or something, some guy's got like gel in his hair and stuff, and you're like, who does their hair on a Friday? Well, maybe it was for work, I guess. I don't know, but
Yeah.
like kids, high school kids, stuff like that. Every once in a while, there'd be that guy, that kid that came out on the court with his hair perfect, and you're like, bro, you're about to play basketball, homie. Come on, man. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
See what it looks like at the end of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, people feel like have been saying for a little while now, and I looked at as many lists as I could find, and all of them have Diana Taurasi as the number one best WNBA player ever.
Wow. Hmm. It's
So
pretty
it's
good.
pretty. I feel like it's pretty universal. It's almost like
If Cheryl Miller played in a WNBA, would she be the greatest women's player ever?
possibly,
Man, I watched a thing on
possibly.
Cheryl Miller, dude. That chick was bad.
Yeah.
Reggie Miller got into the car one day and says, "You see that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I did got like 35 today." And Dad's laughing. What are
Yep.
you laughing at? Cheryl tell him, "I had 102."
Yeah. Wasn't that like
Or it was
at
even
halftime or after three
she didn't
quarters or
play a
something like
fourth
that?
quarter. She didn't play
Yeah.
the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't play the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she had and she led her team in assists.
Mm.
How do you lead your team in assists and have 100 points?
Yeah.
That's insane.
They won
Well, of course, they probably
104.
only had one assist. She just brought it down and just
Yeah.
went down on everybody.
Right. Yeah.
But dude, that was a fun little thing. I just randomly saw it on Netflix. It was an old, you know what I'm talking about? I think it was about the Knicks and Pacers.
Yeah.
And it was all about Reggie and all that. It's old, but
Hmm.
uh,
Winning time?
I think that was it.
30
Yeah.
for 30 winning time?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
But
have
they
that on
talked a lot
DVD.
about Cheryl.
Yeah.
A lot about Cheryl, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She was bad, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was bad.
I've heard plenty of people say that she maybe is the best female player, but she'd never played in the WNBA.
Right.
So it was just a little bit after her
Yeah.
time. But yeah. So congratulations to Diana Taurasi. It seems like that's the magnitude of like when LeBron retires, it's not, LeBron's going to get way more like media attention and all that, but it seems like
Yeah, it's kind of a
people
bummer. I wish she
consider,
would get more.
yeah,
Because where are they at? Their season's not the same as like they're not even playing right now.
they haven't started now.
So she's
They started.
done. Like she's not saying this is my last year.
No,
She's saying I'm retired.
officially retired.
So I see LeBron as tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
I see LeBron kind of going out like Kobe. This is my last year, an opportunity for the farewell tour, the video tribute at every away game. Like I feel like LeBron would kind of embrace something like that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
So that's why I think I think he's definitely playing next year. I think there's no doubt he's playing next year. I think until he says
Oh yeah.
next year's my last year, you can count on him playing. Like at the end of the game, they're like, "Well, are you going to retire now?" I'm like, well, I'm going to go home. I'm going to
Yeah.
think about it. Well, no, yeah, I think that's how it is.
I can only see him. I feel like he's gonna have to. His skills are gonna have to decline. His body's gonna have to start really breaking down before he does retire. But I mean that could start next year. Who knows? But right now he's still an all-star. Like he's still one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like it's even close the way he's playing.
He, I love so it feels like everybody's been kind of scared of LeBron when it comes to coaches and stuff like that over the last few years, you know? Maybe not scared, but like
He's got a lot of power.
there was a lot of power, kind of eggshells, how you talk about anything.
I mean,
I love JJ Redick. I
yeah,
hated JJ Redick. I love JJ Redick.
yeah.
Yeah, JJ Redick might be the West Coast Eric Spoelstra from 15 years ago,
He's
10 years ago, whenever it was.
yeah.
But JJ Redick comes out and he's like, look, we LeBron is, needs the ball in his hands, right? We have three guys that are great with the ball in their hands. They got AR. He calls him AR. That's weird. It's Austin Reeves. Because he's not Luca or LeBron, but he put him in there with it. But he's like, yeah, we're running everything through Luca. Luca's not playing the whole game. These guys will get 4 minute spurts where they get to do it.
Mhm.
And now it's like LeBron doesn't have to take as much time off. Like he can go get it when he needs to get it, but it's running through Luca. And I've been watching a lot of highlights the last couple games. It looks like this could be fun, buddy. This
Yeah,
could be really good.
they're playing. The Lakers are playing very well
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
And they're playing through, they played through Luca in the game against the Mavs, and it was great for LeBron. Like it couldn't have been better for LeBron. LeBron threw the ball to him in the post four straight times on the same possession. Like he got it, threw it to him, backed his guy down. As soon as the double came, he kicked it to LeBron. LeBron gave it right back to him. Double came, kicked it to LeBron. LeBron gave it right back to him. Double came, kicked it to LeBron, hit the three. And I was like, this could be a lot of fun. Like, this could be a lot of fun. You have two. LeBron already said, he said, I'm a natural wide receiver.
Yeah.
He said, Luca's a natural quarterback. This is perfect. I can just get up and go. And he throws it right to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is fun.
Luca is really good at that long outlet.
Yeah,
That long outlet
him and
pass.
Jokic are insane, are
Yeah.
unbelievable at it. But Jokic, I think, is the best.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's probably my favorite assist of Jokic is side out of bounds, way in the back court, and he takes it and just throws it one hand baseball pass all the way down for an alley oop for Aaron Gordon or something like that.
dime, just an
Because like
absolute dime.
yeah, yeah, perfect pass from
Because
you know
whoever's guarding Gordon's just
86 feet
standing
away.
there because they're not playing defense
Because
80
like
feet.
yeah, no one would ever make
The
that
ball's
pass.
75 feet away. I'm good.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably my favorite pass of his. But
The
but yeah,
rebound, when he gets that rebound and somebody takes off and he just turns around, waits 1 second, and then throws a baseball pass and just hits a guy in stride, it's unbelievable.
yeah. Especially when there's somebody on them, but
Hmm.
they got like half a step and it's
Hmm.
perfect.
Hmm.
Oh God, I love that pass. So anyway, yes, I feel like Diana Taurasi, it's that level of a retirement. I think we have both agreed that it should be getting some more attention in the media. It's
Yeah,
if she's considered
very.
the best WNBA player of all time,
How is
or
this
even
not
one of the top two or
huge?
three, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. At least give me some. Is the torch being passed to Caitlin Clark crap? I want to at least hear about it. I haven't heard any. I did not hear about it.
I feel like half the league is still tired of all the Caitlin Clark stuff, so they probably won't want to really say that, but it's kind of automatic. Like
I'm gonna
everybody
tell you, I'll
knows
be
that,
honest with
right?
you. I love Caitlin Clark. I
Yeah. Oh
love the
yeah, I
way
do
she
too.
plays. She whines a little bit too much sometimes. But if you watch the game, she gets beat up pretty hard. Like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're extra with her.
That's yeah, yeah. I mean, people have done that really the whole Steph's whole career too. Like
Hmm.
they're kind of a smaller built person, and they feel like physicality is the way to do it. Steph's been really successful despite that.
Say so.
Caitlin Clark was the best rookie ever, I think.
Hmm.
Had the best rookie season ever. Um, so yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, you probably should try that. Put your best defender on her, your toughest defender, and let him get physical with her.
Just
And
try to annoy the shit out of her, crap out of
yeah,
her.
yeah, and yeah, uh, you should do that, I guess. But as long as you're, as long as it's working, like if she's if she's somehow using that against you and scoring more, or they're scoring more because she's passing the ball and stuff, then maybe that's not the way to go.
Yeah.
But
Well,
who knows? Anyway, congratulations on a great career for
it's awesome.
Diana
Good for
Taurasi.
you, Diana. I
Yeah,
had no idea until you just said that.
yeah. See,
Not
there
heard
you
a thing.
go.
That's
There's
what
a
I'm
good
saying. I haven't
example.
heard a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Really quick. It's not going to be really quick. I take that back. Two rules that I found out that are being implemented immediately in spring training and in the regular season this year for Major League Baseball
Okay.
that caught my attention today that I wasn't aware of before. One is a little adjustment to the shift rule. So before, if there was a violation of the shift rule, the batting team got a choice between um, taking the result of the play or giving the batter a ball. Right, the batter gets a ball.
So if he swings at the pitch and they're in an illegal shift and he grounds out,
Mm-hmm.
he can go back to the plate and just have a ball.
That's right.
Or if he gets a hit, they can take the result.
They can take the result. Now, this year, that was the rule.
Okay.
This year, they have the option to take the result or he gets
Gets
a
first.
base and any other runner on
Moves up one.
moves up
I
again.
I feel like that makes more sense than a ball because if you're waiting to if the ball's put in play and
Mhm.
they're illegally shifted and they make a play, well then basically you're saying that should have been a hit because they illegally shifted. You should get the base, not go back to the plate and get a ball. I don't I actually kind of like that better.
Oh,
But what if it's just one pitch and they're in an illegal shift and it's a strike? You don't get first. Or is it not an illegal shift until the ball's put in play?
until the ball's put in play.
Well, then yes, I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
I'm actually totally
I'm
fine with that.
pretty sure that's
I
okay.
don't like I think I actually don't would not like the fact that I hit a ball, they're in an illegal shift, got me out, and I got to go back and I got to go back and I got to go to the plate again.
Mhm.
They were illegally shifted. I hit it. I should have a base hit because they were illegally shifted.
Okay.
I if the ball's been put in play, I'm totally fine with that
Okay. Okay. Um,
because the result of the play or the actual play, the ball was put in play.
yeah.
The illegal shift happened technically after the ball's put in play because it's when the ball's put in play is when it's considered an illegal shift.
We'll say the second baseman is just barely on the shortstop side of second base, and that's where the illegal shift is.
Mm-hmm.
But the ball was hit the third base, throw him out. You still feel like
Look, so you can't though. It's you have to have black and white. You can't have a gray area. So you have to say, still the ball was put in play.
Mhm.
Okay. The reason they're making this rule is because if you illegally shift, chances are there's a reason why you shifted because the guy always hits it here, make the play, he's out. You were a foot to the left more than you're allowed to be. I get that. You can't say only if it was hit to the person who was in the illegal shift. I mean, I guess maybe you could. If the ball was hit to the person who is illegally shifted,
Mhm.
I guess you could say that, and I'd be okay with that if it's not hit to him. But here's the other thing is him being then you could say the guy goes up and he shifts illegally and he's standing a foot there anyway, and it makes the batter sees it, and now he's trying a little differently to put the ball the other way because he sees where the guy's at. And I don't know. To be honest, I hate the fact that you can't shift anyway.
I think it's the worst.
I
I think
so
it's
in general, I
really
say let
stupid.
them shift and go wherever they want.
Yes,
Learn how to hit. That's what I say.
100%.
Be a better hitter.
I
Be a better hitter.
yeah, or figure something else out. But yeah, I hate that. I don't know. I just hate that because and the next rule is going to follow into this category too. But just because the game evolves, strategy evolves over time, and people figure out how to. I mean, every sport, everybody's always trying to figure out how to get an advantage,
Yeah.
right? And that's exactly
Time
what the
stealing and everything else. It
sure,
goes with all of that.
sure, and but I mean, yeah. So the shift is one of those things. You can put a guy, 87% of the time he hits it to the left side of
Hmm.
the infield. You can put three guys over there or whatever.
I think it's dumb that you can't.
I 100% agree. Um, for this new rule, it feels to me like it's too. I totally get what you're saying, why you feel like it makes more sense than going back and getting a ball.
Yeah, I
It
don't
feels like
like that.
it's too much giving the guy a base when he got out and having the other runners on base advance a base freely
Well, you
is
have to advance them. I mean, they can't. If you got a guy on first and you get first, he's got to advance. I mean, in that
sure.
case, if he's on second and the ball is in play, then he should be able to advance that one base as well. It's just like if a ball's thrown out of play, you get to advance one base based off of the result of the play. So I think if the runner gets to advance the batter gets to advance one base, then everybody on the field needs to be able to advance one base.
Even if it's like he gets first base, but there was a guy on second, he should be able to go to
There's a
third.
guy on third, he goes home.
That feels like I mean, for a,
I mean but baseball, that's like a baseball, that's just how a baseball rule works is I mean, think about Ghost Man on, right? Like when you played wiffle ball and it was 2-on-2 wiffle ball, and you got a Ghost Man on third, and if I hit a ball, to the third baseman, but I beat it out the first, everybody advances one base because I made it to first base. The Ghost Man scores. He advances one base.
yeah, but
No,
that's,
I know that's silly. My point is not to try to compare 2-on-2 wiffle ball, 3-on-3 wiffle ball to baseball. My point is that's just how baseball in general. That's like if there's a ground ball and there's a man on second and the ground ball to the shortstop and he overthrows first, he gets one base. He gets the base he's going to plus one. Sorry. He gets the base he's going to plus one. So he gets home. Well, and the runner who was going gets second. He was going to first and then he gets one more. So if that's the case, it's like, well, even if he would have got him at first or something would have happened at first, that guy wouldn't have scored. So we should just only let him go to third. But the guy who's running, who batted, gets the base he was going to plus one. Everybody gets the base they're going to plus one.
yeah, I guess it doesn't feel, it feels like it's way too big a penalty for a shift. I just, an illegal shift. I don't know. We agree that there shouldn't be such a thing as an illegal shift, but it just feels to me like that's far too big a penalty for an illegal shift
Mm.
violation. The other one, so the in the last couple of years, people started figuring out on a like a double play, like a traditional double play ball, the guy coming from first to second found out if he run and there's a guy on third, if he rounds the base in on second and beats that throw, but he doesn't slide in and beat it, he rounds it so that the when it's going to be the third out, the guy on third can score before like he basically rounds the base and gets in a rundown purposely to make sure the guy on third can score,
Okay.
right? So on a
So there's two outs.
there's a guy on first and third,
There's two outs.
two outs.
Ground ball, guy's running to second.
Yes.
The ball's flipped to second, but he never slides. He just rounds it. He beats
Rounds it and
beats
beats
the
it.
throw,
Yep.
rounds it. Okay.
To specifically get in a rundown between second and third so that the guy on third can score.
Yeah.
That is um that's no longer allowed. So that is now
What's the reasoning?
because they don't want people to be able to use strategy, I guess. Because
You're not doing anything illegal,
no, you're not, except now you are. So
but
they're
I don't know what you're doing illegal. You have to tell me why. There's got to be a reason.
yeah.
Is it injury because the guy's coming through second base and like the way you cover second, there's a possibility of injury at the base because you're rounding it and maybe that's to second base and the shortstop's coming across and the way he comes across, maybe there's a a chance at collision? Did somebody had to get hurt? Something happened for this to be put in place. They don't just put things in place.
Uh,
Something happened. You like your Buster Posey rule with blocking the plate, right?
mhm.
You have all kinds of different things that come in. That
What's
and
your
the breaking up a double play,
Mhm.
with who was that? Was that Buster Posey sliding into second, or was that somebody got
Yeah.
taken out and they change it for that. So why I need to know why.
What's the reason for the illegal shift?
That was just for a very long time. You had a bunch of old people that didn't like it.
There you go.
So you
So
think that's what this is?
there's not a reason.
Yeah, there's not a
Um,
reason. Yeah,
I didn't read anything
because
about anything.
Joey Votto got it lost like 15 points off his batting average every year.
Yeah, I didn't read anything about any safety violation that would make sense if that's the case. But um, it doesn't. In that case, you if there's a collision, it would be interference on the fielder, right? If you're rounding the base and you run into him, I mean that could. I guess it depends on where it depends on where
If
he is.
you're making a play on the ball,
If you're making a play on the ball
if you're
at the
making a
base,
play on the ball at the base, the ball's being thrown to you and you're rounding the base, there's
yeah,
no interference call on that.
yeah. I was thinking if he's like on the third base side of the bag still going to the base or something like that, and you run into him, but that's I don't know. Anyway, they can call the guy out at second base as the third out if the and not allow the run to score if um if both of his feet touch the ground on the other side of the base before that guy scores, he's out. No run. So I run I round second because I want you to be able to score from third. I touch 1, 2 feet down past the bag and you haven't reached because I'm way faster than you, way faster.
It's true.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But you haven't gotten home by the time both of my feet touch the other side of the bag. I'm out. You're not allowed to
I
score.
don't even know how many times I've ever seen this play happen
Mhm. It's new. I feel just maybe last year is the first time I feel like I heard it.
where people
Maybe 2 years ago.
were attempting it just because.
Yeah. Because you can sometimes faster around the bag than slide into it, I guess. And if you can make that happen, then you can help your guy score. But
Hmm.
that is another one that feels like why in the world if I get to the base and I'm safe,
Then
you can call me out because I rounded instead of.
that's ridiculous. I don't like
So
that.
I was a little upset for a while this afternoon when I read those two things, and I wanted to get your reaction because you're my baseball guy.
Wow. Okay, so I don't mind the shift if that's the rule. If you cannot shift and that's the rule, then I don't mind what the penalty is for an overshift.
Okay.
I I don't like the fact that I beat you to the base and then tried to get in a rundown. So that you're basically saying like, don't ever get in a rundown. People purposely get in rundowns all the time. If
Mhm.
I if I'm not going to make it to second base or I tried to, and there's a man on third, I'm not just going to keep going to second and just slide in and be out. I'm going to stop, get in a rundown, and let that run score.
Yeah. So there's something about it's okay to stop between bases, but it's not okay to round it just because you're trying to get into another.
Like going from first to second, that's dangerous. If there's a play at first base and you don't run through the base, you try to round it, that's dangerous because the first baseman is stretching for the ball. There's a reason you're not allowed to do that. That's
Around
da-
first base?
yeah, that's
Okay. Yeah.
dangerous.
Sure. Yeah.
Extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
Both of you are going to get hurt. You got to run through the base on a play at first. But so I don't understand. There has to be a danger factor. If there's no factor involved and you're just doing it because you don't like the play, that's the shift though.
Maybe.
That's the shift.
Yeah.
Just because you don't like it. But they did the shift for years.
Yeah.
How often have you seen somebody do that in baseball? I can't even tell you.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in I probably saw a highlight or two or something maybe
That's
last year, but
yeah.
I mean I don't remember watching a game and just seeing it
Yeah.
live or whatever. Um, but yeah, apparently it is something that more teams are using.
Hmm.
So anyway,
It's crazy.
that's it. Those are my those are my gripes with the
I don't blame you. Oh, yeah. I'm good with your gripes.
And look, there might be some explanations that I just haven't seen yet, but the things that I read earlier today about it, that was it.
Yeah, I don't
It
blame you.
left me confused. Okay, last week we did the Mount Rushmore of unique, odd, strange batting stances
Yes.
in baseball. This week we have the Mount Rushmore of odd, unique, strange, funny forms,
Yeah.
shooting forms in basketball.
So, do you want to go first with this or do you want to go first with Fluffy? I think we're going to have a
Either
lot
way.
of the same with this. Unless you have some people that, like, yeah, I said the very first person I said last week was on every list.
Yeah.
I was talking about Sean Marion. He was on every
Oh
list I
yeah, yeah,
read.
yeah.
Sean Marion and apparently had a dislocated left pinky finger, but, and they talking about that has nothing to do with your shooting form.
It's his offhand. It's
Exactly.
his guide hand.
So why is that little quick little weird
Yeah.
flippy thing that he does
Why
as
can't he extend his right arm because
yes,
his pinky on his
doesn't make
left
sense.
hand? Yeah.
Why are
I
you
saw the same thing.
yeah. What? That doesn't even make sense. Um so I am gonna go with him. I'm gonna put him on there. Mr. Noah. And then there's a lot of the same, man. It's a whole lot of the same people. We might have somebody different.
I wrote down 15 people
Okay. I have one, two, three, four, five, six people.
and I stopped. I feel like
I
I
mean,
could have
yeah, but
found a
you're a
lot more.
shooting form guy. Like you're a huge shooting form guy.
I
Like
am.
you would have like the guy on like that poor kid that played for Indiana on what was that movie called about Bob Knight and the Indiana team? Uh that one that was undefeated. What was the name of that movie that they made?
Mm,
Season on the Brink? Was that it?
oh,
Is
maybe.
that it?
Yeah.
With Walford or what's his name? Was that his
Steve
name?
Alford.
Steve Alford.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, there's a poor kid on that team that was a really good basketball player, recruited highly, but he had terrible shooting form. And Bob Knight refused to put him in a game and just made him sit on the side in every practice and just and try to shoot. He couldn't shoot anymore. He was a really good shooter out of high school, and he couldn't shoot the way they were trying to make him shoot. And he ended up transferring and losing a year of eligibility and going somewhere else because he spent an entire year sitting on the bench trying to learn a new way to shoot, and then all of a sudden he couldn't shoot.
Ugh. Yeah.
So you're like Bob Knight.
I've learned that it's not always it's not always best to completely change a kid's form.
Mm-hmm.
Like it drives me insane some of the crazy forms. We had a kid this year sorry, tangent of course, but a kid this year who's a right-handed shooter, left foot forward, his left shoulder forward,
So he shot put
ball starts here, so he had to
the
shoot
shot put.
and he didn't even really always sometimes he would turn his body. Sometimes it looked like he was shooting with the left side of his body still pointed forward.
I can't even
He
imagine that. All I see
he
is yeah.
he made a lot of shots. He could shoot a mid-range, he could shoot a free
Yeah,
throw.
yeah. I think
I didn't understand it.
that doesn't make any sense.
I told him a couple of times about it. I asked him in practice to try a couple of free throws that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it clearly was incredibly uncomfortable for him to make his body more
Square.
square and yeah. Anyway,
Me and Parker just had a whole thing about that today before practice. We were during the girls' practice. He was shooting on the other end, but his is opposite. I mean, that's ridiculous. His right foot is getting too far out in front. Like it's all the way in front of his left foot,
mhm.
and we were working on getting it back, bringing it back and getting into his legs a little better.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the complete opposite. Like at least I understand kind of that right foot. At least you're getting your shooting hand out there, right?
Hmm. Good
Your
for
left,
balance a little bit. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Like I mean, everybody shoots with their right foot if you're right-handed. a little bit in front of their left foot. That's
Yeah.
normal. But your left foot in front? Hey, look, and you know what? I got a kid on my team, doesn't make a lot of shots and refuses to listen to anything I say about a shot, but he takes the ball with two hands on the side
Yeah.
and just kind of goes like that. He says he's shooting right-handed. He also says that he dribbles left-handed, but he shoots right-handed. So he doesn't do either. But
Huh. I got a few guys on this list that sound just like uh just like what you just
I'm
described.
left-handed, but I shoot the basketball right-handed. Okay. Well, I don't know how my
Are
watch
you
picked that up,
are
but
you
somebody
sending that as a text to somebody or
probably, who knows? That kid's mom
Yeah.
or dad. All right,
Okay.
so I am gonna go with Sean Marion on there because he's always the first person. Like he was a really good basketball. He played for 15 years,
Mhm.
really good. I'm gonna go with Sean Marion.
He was a good shooter too.
Yeah,
It just looked really
he was
strange.
a really good 3-point shooter. All right, so in that case, let's go to number two, which is probably number one. I don't even remember. I remember Michael Kidd Gilchrist, like he was a good basketball player. I do not ever remember seeing him shoot a basketball. Holy cow.
Mhm.
That's the ugliest shot ever in the NBA. Is that the ugliest shot ever?
It's way up there. Yep, way up there.
I mean, that's bad.
He got a lot of playing time because he was one of the best defensive players in the league
Yeah.
for a while.
How can you talk about getting your elbow in? His if you're shooting four, like let's say I'm at the free throw line
Mhm.
and I'm shooting directly in front of me. His hand and ball were pointed towards the sideline somehow. How does that even?
Well,
I
his
gotta go back.
elbow was so far in, the ball went like outside his
Kicked
elbow.
outside.
Yeah. I don't know how you do that. And then it kind of like turned his body too. Also, he shot the ball on the way down, which is I think maybe the worst part of that
Oh
shot.
my God, that's bad.
So everything was crazy about it. But yeah, it was really strange to see the ball outside of where his elbow was. Um,
That's bad.
yeah,
On the way down.
really
That's really
weird,
funny.
really weird shot.
Um, so one for me for sure. We still always joke around about it. Everybody still jokes about it. Is the Bill Cartwright. Bill Cartwright had the free throw. I mean, that ball was so far back behind his head and so high up in the air. Like it just, I mean, people talk about Larry Bird getting back there. Like Bill Cartwright was, and he shot looked like with two hands.
Yeah,
He shot with two
he
hands,
had the ball like this. It looked like he was shooting it with his thumb
like
almost.
the way that we shoot pop shot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
um, I shoot pop shot, just kind of a little touch shot. So I'm gonna go him. This is so then here's before we get into the last one. Um, I want to talk about some guys that are actually decent shooters.
Okay.
And I'm going to be honest with you, it's a family.
Mhm.
The Ball brothers, for a family that was on TV talking about they shoot 4,000 shots a day and their dad and all this, how did you not teach your kids how to shoot? Lonzo Ball, especially in college, it's gotten better. When he first got to UCLA, that was one of the ugliest shots ever. And LaMelo, who is a fantastic shooter, might be just as bad or worse
Mhm.
with form. How do you have kids, two extremely great athletes, and all you ever wanted them to do was talk about them playing in the NBA
Mhm.
and never teach them how to shoot?
Yeah, yeah. It was because he's not nearly the basketball guy that he wants everybody to believe. I think
We talk about
Lavar.
he played like Division 6 and
Yeah,
he played like 10 minutes in 2 years
yeah,
or
averaged
something.
1.3 points a game or something,
Yeah.
but he could beat Michael Jordan for sure. Um, yes, yeah, the three ball brothers and Lavar, you know, uh, 7 feet between them.
Well, Leangelo is probably the best shooter out of all three of them.
Is
I
he?
went back and looked at his. Leandro doesn't look like he's got a bad shot.
Hmm.
He couldn't make it to the league.
Yeah, yeah. Lonzo had, I think, maybe the oddest shot, but he has changed it a lot.
It's changed a lot.
When he was
His
his
looks
first,
his looks better than LaMelo now. LaMelo
yeah,
still looks like he
probably,
shoots with two hands.
yeah, yeah, because Lonzo, I was watching videos earlier today.
way over on his left.
He shot it from the left side of his head.
Yeah.
And it wasn't one of those things. A lot of people have weird, like, where they go into their shot, but he shot it from the left. He didn't come through that side
Mm-hmm.
and then shoot it. He shot it from that side. He released it from the
Hmm.
left side of his body. I really strange,
Yeah.
really strange. But he did. He worked on it and got better. Um,
And I'm going to tell you, I really like LaMelo Ball. I think he's fun to watch.
well, yeah,
He can shoot from anywhere, but he looks like he's shooting with two hands.
yeah. His shot is strange. I
Hmm.
like Lonzo the best out of all of them.
Like for the bad shot, like you like him
No,
for
no, no.
this.
I like him. It seems like he's the most level-headed, like quiet. I like that about him, and he's a really good. Unfortunately, he's
His
missed like
injuries are
2.5
insane.
years or
Yeah.
something. Like he just got back.
Yeah.
He's playing pretty well, I think. But
I think like LaMelo's probably the best athlete. Lonzo's the
mhm,
best basketball player. Like he's maybe not
yeah,
basketball player. He's the best. Like if you talk about a point guard, he's more of that point guard kind of guy, right?
yeah,
He's very good with the ball in his hand.
yeah,
Very good with the ball in his hand
yeah,
to make the right decision.
yeah. Um, yeah. So saying that is Lonzo your fourth? Or
No, he's
you're
not.
okay?
Who else did I have on here? Okay, so I think I'm gonna. Maybe he is. No, I gotta put Joakim Noah up there.
Yeah,
Joakim Noah's got another guy. Looks like I don't know if it's two hands or what it is, but
that's the most two-handed shot I think I've ever seen.
I just don't understand how you make it that far. I mean, I get it. He's 6'10", he's big dude, and he's got great touch around the basket. But I don't understand how you can play that much basketball and not be taught how to shoot.
I mean, high recruit, won two national championships, one of the top guys on that
Mm,
team, and then
a
like the second best,
fantastic career.
yeah, like the second best player on some Bulls
Bulls
teams that
teams.
were really,
Yep.
really good for a while. Yeah, and I mean, can't just really strange looking shot, horrible free throw shooter,
Hmm.
but because of that, but yeah, I don't know. It definitely looks a lot of these shots look so odd, but when you see where exactly they release it, they're technically they're technically releasing, at the top where they're supposed to with one hand, but there's so much other motion going on and so much guide hand, some guys like Al Horford shoots the ball
Yeah,
with
with
his
his hand behind the ball.
right,
Yeah.
right. There's a lot of crazy stuff like that now, especially once you get into the NBA and even before that, if that's how you've shot all along and you're not a horrible shooter,
Hmm.
that's where you probably maybe don't, unless you as a player want to go to a shooting coach and work on it. A lot of guys I think don't.
Yeah,
They just play. And like same with Michael Kidd Gilchrist and Joakim Noah. Noah was one of the best defensive players too, and
sure.
that's
Absolutely.
so he
Right.
was he was on the floor all the time for that.
So that's what I'll do. I'll leave the Ball brothers off, even though Lonzo probably deserves it. Um, and I don't know that Bill Cartwright was really that bad. Maybe I do put Lonzo. I don't know. No, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it with Sean Marion, Michael Kidd Gilchrist, Bill Cartwright, Joakim Noah.
Okay, good. Okay.
And two of those I said last week, so I'm
Yeah.
sticking with my guns.
Okay.
If I'd have known Michael Kidd Gilchrist was that bad, there was a few guys I looked at, but I didn't even know who they were, so I
He's
didn't count it. If I don't know who
okay.
you are, it's hard for me to like put you on this list. Like you got to be a
I
decent best,
gotcha.
otherwise you're just not that good. Like you don't deserve to be on the list.
I feel like Ronnie Brewer might be that guy for you. I don't
Ronnie Brewer, I
know.
saw Ronnie Brewer on some lists, but he did like us. You're right. Like, I mean, Cartwright's only on there because he won 3 titles with Jordan, right? That's the only reason we know who Bill Cartwright
Well, he
is.
was a good player with the
I,
Knicks before he came to the
so was Ronnie
Bulls.
Brewer. Ronnie Brewer was a good player. Michael Kidd Gilchrist isn't.
Well,
That's just that bad.
yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Okay. Bill Carr. So I've got this narrowed down to six and a definite two.
Like
So,
this is the greatest picture of Michael Kidd Gilchrist.
yeah.
The ball's facing His hand is facing out of bounds.
They talk about like looking through like a
Yeah,
window or something. He created a new window.
no one's ever seen. Oh, that's good.
Um, he's the only one with a back window on his shot.
He's looking out the backside. Oh God, that's good.
All right. I'm going Bill Cartwright. He's got to be on mine.
Okay, good.
It that is one of those ones that looks so crazy. He his hands are on either side of the ball
Like
when he
Joakim
goes to
Noah.
shoot it.
It's like
Yeah,
Joakim Noah.
yeah. The only thing is like Noah shot the ball a little bit more two-handed. Cartwright was one of those where he got it here, took it off, and then shot it.
And let go
But
of it, right?
it
Yeah.
still looked so strange.
Getting there was
Yes,
different. Yeah.
because getting it to that spot it happened so late. It just looked like the entire shot was with two hands. Um, but crazy, and he shot jumpers and free throws the same way. Like some of these guys, the jumper looks crazy, the
Well,
free throws a little better, or vice
or
versa.
vice versa, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I tried to find guys that were like I tried to find all the guys like that was just their shot, not just the free because you could go with the underhand free throw guys and like Shaq. If Shaq were to pull up, like I've seen Shaq take threes and he looks halfway normal, like when he's just catching a ball and shooting. I don't know if they go in or not, probably not. But the free throw line, he almost looks like that's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was shooting a softball because
He
he
was.
shot it with his fingertips, and he just because it was like
Yeah.
it was like us holding a golf ball or
Yeah.
something. Um,
Did you ever hear the story? You had to. Did you watch that Shaq documentary? That
Probably.
I think it was the Lakers brought in Rick Barry to show Shaq how to do the underhand free throw.
Yeah.
And Shaq said, I made like 15 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, this is so great. Yeah, now use it in the game. He said, there's no way I'll ever do that in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Ego's
He
too
was too
big.
cool for it.
Cool, too cool. Ego's too
Cool.
big. I'm like,
Yep.
when I heard that, I'm like, you got it. Is that real or is that a Shaq story? Right? Like, I don't even know. Is that a Shaq story? You know, did he really make like 5 out of 15? And everybody was like, man, you need to do this.
I'm sure you've tried that free throw, the underhand, two
Yeah,
hand for it. It works.
it does. Yeah.
It really works. A few other
With
guys
that
have used
reverse
it.
spin on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yep. It really does work. But I feel like most people honestly are like Shaq. Like
Mhm.
it looks so silly. I just can't bring myself to do
Mm-mm.
it. Shout out to the real ones who have used it in games because it works.
Anybody? Do you know anybody that's ever used it in a
Not
game?
personally, but there have been other guys in the NBA
Yeah,
that
I've
have
seen
used
different.
it.
I saw
Yeah.
some clips while I was watching through this.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of, and I can't really tell you about his jumper. I didn't look that deep into it, but I've seen this a bunch of times, and his free throw is so funny. It has to be on there for me. This is the other guaranteed one for me. Don Nelson, who probably a lot of people
Ah,
know as like a really
unbelievable
successful coach the Run TMC Warriors and
Mavs when they were big
Matt. Yeah.
with
Yep.
Nash and Dirk.
So, but he was a good player for the Celtics in the 60s and 70s, those teams that won a trillion titles. And Don Nelson's free throw looked like somebody's mom who never shoots the ball until they
I'm
go out
watching
once
it
in a while.
right now.
It looks like either a little kid or a mom.
It
First of all,
does.
he jumped
He did. He jumped.
and his like left leg kicked back a little bit, like he like just reached it to the hoop.
He looks like a ballerina doing like a little hop flip with her legs split and come back
Yeah.
down. And then he misses it and he's so disappointed.
It's the funniest, most unprofessional looking free throw, more so than the ones with the crazy hands and stuff. His whole body.
If you shoot like this, you should not have this reaction. Like we're sitting here watching this, and if you go to YouTube and just type in Don Nelson free throw, you should not have this reaction. Why are you so mad? If you look that ridiculous at the free throw line, you can't be mad when you miss.
You think he told himself, "Ah, little lady, why'd you miss it?" Just
My God.
it's. I have to have that.
I like that. That's good.
I have to have
That's
that one
good.
on there because it's the one that makes me laugh the most.
Yes, that's good.
Um, Bill Cartwright, Don Nelson, and then gosh, the other ones. Here's one I'm gonna put on there. And I saw this guy play a lot um, when I was a kid, and I never really noticed it until I was watching these videos. Anthony Mason, Knicks,
Hmm.
Hornets, known for kind of being an enforcer and a tough guy and stuff like that. Um,
He looks like he would have a bad shot.
he, I saw close up and in slow motion. He shot, he was left-handed. He shot the ball. It was not like he didn't like have his palm. You always teach, no, don't put your palm on it. Use your
Hmm.
fingers.
Hmm.
He started with it on his heel.
Oh,
He rolled the ball from his heel all the way down his hand for a shot.
so we got a kid on our. So I've been getting on Parker about it, right? Like we've been really talking about spacing, and because he takes his shot and everything looks fine. He got the road like his the gooseneck at the end and all
But
that,
no rotation.
but
We're
there's no
telling you that.
rotation, right? We're talking about this, so we've been working on it a lot, and he's got a little rotation now. We've, you know, really worked on getting the ball because he was really putting it here, and the ball's coming out of his hand before he ever gets any of that, and that's why I had no rotation. So we're talking about it getting on his fingertips, and today he shot amazing.
Mm.
We played a shooting game, and if he wasn't on that team that he was on, they would have never won. Anyway, but he's not a great shooter. I'm not saying he's a great shooter. Our whole team's terrible at shooting. It just so happened to be that way. My point is, we have another kid on the team who has seen me because I get on Parker hard. It's just like bait. Like I shouldn't get on
Sure.
him like I do, but I get on him super hard. And this kid, all of a sudden, from the beginning of the year till now, does that. The ball spins so much, it's like like it's too much.
Mm.
It's I don't know if that's possible to have too much spin, but it looks like what you said. It looks like it starts here, gets here, and he's boom and tries to fling as hard as he can,
Yeah.
and the ball flies 100 miles in the air, spins like crazy, and if it doesn't go straight in, it ain't going in. Shooter's touch, that has no shooter's touch. That hits the rim and it just starts going like a banana man. Banana
Like
man.
a banana man. I love that. I'm going to use it forever. Um, yes. It just, when I saw it slowed down and I saw, and there were like three different videos of it. So
Hmm.
it's not like a one time. I mean, it was, I think there was maybe even a little hitch or something, but he got the ball and it got to the heel, almost to his wrist. And he shot it from his wrist basically through the ball, and it was not a good shot at all.
No.
It was
No.
crazy to see that from a from an NBA player.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw him on there, and then, gosh, my last one is, it's either Michael Kidd Gilchrist or the two free throws that Ronnie Brewer had the free throw where he like paused. A few guys do
I
this.
hate the
They pause
pause
real
so
high
hard. Yeah.
right before their whole body shoots the ball until it gets right to the release point, and then they hold it
And then
and then
flick their
release it.
wrist.
And when he did that and then rolled back before he let the ball go, rolled back on his heels, and as he was shooting the ball, he was taking a step backwards. That's almost the most crazy. I mean, nobody ever is going to beat Don Nelson, but it's such a crazy thing to see a guy, and it's not like a Steph thing where you're so confident in your shot, you shoot it and you start
And-
walking back.
yeah.
It's not that. His
He was
balance
was
comes
falling backwards.
backwards
Yeah.
because he's holding his balance up,
Yeah.
as high as it can go.
We talk about staying proud at the free throw line.
Okay.
Stay proud because there's a lot of time Parker, again, I always talk about Parker when he went through, he's a pretty good free throw shooter. When you can tell when he shoots one and he takes a step back
Hmm.
after the shot, it's a step. It's not like he's walking off.
Hmm.
It's just a step back. Like that, you stay proud. When he stays proud at the free throw line, he knocks it down. When he has that little fallback, he hits the
Oh,
front
I
of the
see.
rim almost every time.
Yeah.
And it's in the shot, he's going backwards, not with a hitch, and then you like just got nothing else to do but go there.
Hmm.
But still,
Just
but
balance is
my
just
point
off
is,
a
we
little bit.
call it stay proud on the free throw line.
Okay.
That's just the wording that
That's good.
I've used. Stay proud. Hit that thing, hold it, stay there.
Yeah. Yep. That's good. Um, the other one is the same shot but opposite, and he was a little bit different all the time. Chuck Hayes,
Chucky
Chuck Hayes,
Hayes.
who played at Kentucky, and then he played for a while for Houston, most notably, and then some other teams. But he did the same thing where he held the ball up at the top of the shot, paused, and then you can see times where his right foot is on the line, right? His left foot's back a little bit, and he holds it so long, his balance is off, and he's stepping forward with
with
his
his
left
left
foot
foot.
as he's releasing the ball. Yeah, which is also very, very strange. So my last spot is between those two guys, and I think I'm going with Ronnie Brewer
Okay.
because I think it's a little stranger to be stepping backwards while
Is
you're shooting a free throw.
so is Anthony Mason on yours?
Yes.
Okay. Anthony Mason, Ronnie Brewer,
Uh,
Bill Cartwright,
Bill Cartwright and Don Nelson.
Don Nelson. That's
Yeah,
it. Okay, nice.
yeah. There are
There's
so
some
many, man.
ugly free throw. There's some ugly shooting in
Yeah,
the NBA. It's insane.
yeah. A lot of guys that shoot
And,
one-handed.
and almost all of them are bad shooters, except for Sean Marion. I feel like out of all the
Yeah,
guys that have those shots like that, like Sean Marion could legit shoot.
yeah, he could. Kevin Martin is another guy who was a good shooter
Yeah.
that had kind of a strange shot. But yeah, it's yeah, for the most part, it's I don't know, crazy. But it was fun to go through those videos and break it down a little bit.
That is cool. I like it. That
Yeah,
was good.
yeah.
Good, good. All right.
What kind of shooter do you think Gabriel Iglesias is? Can he shoot a
Mm,
basketball?
I don't
Do
know
you
if
feel
he
like
can get a ball.
does he have any kind of like hand-eye coordination, athleticism? You know, if you
Maybe.
think
I
so,
think he might surprise you just for his size. He might surprise you.
sure.
I know a lot of big guys that like you're like, oh, here we go.
Hmm.
Not to say they're any good, they just might surprise you,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I could see Gabe surprising you.
Okay.
Maybe with a one-handed three, like the hands, the guide hands there, and it doesn't move. Like it doesn't go with the shot. It's there and then they just push it with one hand.
Hmm.
I could see him being that kind of a shooter.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? You
Yeah.
get a lot of guys that like get right here and then they just kind of just take their
That's
one
what I was
hand.
about to say. I put a
There's
bunch
a
of
lot
guys
of
on
those
here
on
just
free
that
throws
one
that did
hand.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Shaq
okay.
was kind of like that. Shaq would start
Yeah.
right there and then would just take it with his one hand and just kind of flip it up there.
Shot
Yeah.
put it. Yeah.
I got my big kid on my team. That's how he shoots his free throws.
Is that right?
Some days he's got it's hilarious, dude. He will shoot 20 free throws, okay? Or 10. We've been doing 10. He used to do 20. Now we've been because it takes too long.
Yeah.
Been doing 10. So five and five, right? Rotate through. And this kid, I'll sit there and watch him, and he'll have it never looks good, but sometimes he'll have a little touch and it'll just kind of either go in or bounce around the rim. Not too bad. And then the next two are 100 miles an hour off the backboard. And then it's like a little touch and then a missile. And then you don't know what the ball's going to do when old
Mhm.
boy puts it up there. But he's a rebounding machine, just like Shaq. Anyway, I don't know why. I just got to talk about everything that happens around me all the time
Yeah. Well, that's what
because that's
people
all we
do.
have, right?
That's what people do.
That's all we have. Anyway.
Okay. So aside from his shooting ability, what do you think about Gabriel Iglesias?
Okay. Oh, let's see.
What's it called? Legend of Fluffy.
The Legend of Fluffy. Adam. Now, you
It
know what?
is. That's you.
I
You
went
pronounced
first
that
on this.
perfectly, by the way.
What's that? Oh, was
Adam.
it? It is Adam.
Hmm.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Good
I
job. Not a lot of people get that
thought
right.
it could have been a damn, but
I get that a lot.
Adam it is. Or I am. I'm gonna let you go first because I don't have a number written down. I know what number I have in my head. I'm gonna write the first number down right now.
Okay. I've got mine written down already too.
I might change that. I'm not sure.
Depending on what I think.
No, I just need to be talked through because I watched this in two cuts.
Sure.
The first half hour and then the last hour and 15 minutes.
Hmm.
Don't ever do that again. I'm talking not to you. I'm
No, I
talking
know.
to him. Just don't do that again.
There are a lot of comics that are doing shorter than an hour now because
I love that.
everybody understands that
Yeah.
everybody's attention span is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
And he went the opposite way.
Ugh.
He said, I'm going to do two specials on this one.
He did.
He did two
So
specials.
let me tell you something. When I first started, okay, let's talk it through together.
Okay.
We talked a little bit last week. Watched the first 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it was. And he started the whole thing out talking about how he's not going to get it, not going to be preachy. He's not going to get into tell you, you know, who he votes for, how to vote, or any of that, or or the transgendering or any of that stuff. He's not going to do that. He's there to entertain.
Mhm.
In the first hour of it is nothing but that. That's
Yeah.
all he did.
Yeah.
Every joke had some kind of tone to it. And a lot of the my life is this good and, bad, whatever happens. But it's like, oh, just get up there, get into that good routine that we love and get out.
Mhm.
He was preachy. He got preachy.
Mhm.
He got preachy. And he said he wasn't going to.
Mhm.
I disliked that about it.
Yeah.
He started off with a lie and then he went for an hour in what was it, an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes?
The total?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought it was like an hour 45 or something, wasn't it?
Was it? Oh, maybe it was an hour 45. I don't even.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
No, you're right. Because I watched a half hour and then I watched an hour and 15. It was an hour
Yeah.
and 45 minutes. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Mhm.
Okay. So already lost me. The guy is funny. He is.
Mhm.
He has got good timing. His timing is pretty good. His joke telling is fantastic. I really do like all of that. The impressions, and not even impressions of people, just the different voices he can go in and out so quickly of,
Mhm.
that's impressive. That is really, really impressive. To have your own dialect, right? You have a Mexican, what's that called?
Accent.
Accent.
Yeah.
And to be able to just have a conversation with a guy like a hillbilly and be going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and never that's really impressive to me.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And like the radio and all that sounded really good. I think that's really good. So good job on that.
Yeah.
That's a good job on that.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, you're welcome. Let's see here. What do I have? Okay, so he says, I know I said you go first, but I wrote some
No,
stuff down.
please.
He's talking about he got robbed. His house got robbed. And he says, why do these people tear all the art off the wall? There's expensive art on my wall, obviously, because he's rich, because he did a Netflix special, blah, 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 which we don't care about. And he says, oh, they're looking for money? Let's go see if, check under the bed. And they go in. He's like, they didn't know that they were robbing someone more ghetto than them. That's what he said. Okay.
Okay.
The next joke, he's going to buy a gun and calls it a tutu.
Mhm.
Don't give me a joke where you're more ghetto than someone and then act like you don't know what a 22 is.
Yeah.
Don't give me those two jokes back to back.
Yeah.
You can give me one of those jokes in something, but don't you now it's a lie. Now I can't do that. I cannot do that. You can't say the words. They didn't realize they were robbing somebody more ghetto than them. And then turn around and talk about buying a gun and not knowing it was called a 22. Come on.
That's funny. I don't even remember catching that the robbing someone more ghetto than them. So
That
that didn't even register with me.
he said that and I
That
was
makes
like,
perfect
you
sense
don't
though.
seem ghetto at all. That's the first thing I thought of
Yeah.
my but then I
How,
get it, you're from Mexico or whatever. That doesn't make you ghetto, right? Or maybe you grew up poor. That doesn't make you get
you're
but don't
certainly
say
not now.
no, but don't say that
Yeah.
and then act like do a whole joke about a gun, getting a gun because you're not a gun person and but I'm trying. Like a lot of that was getting a little preachy for me,
Mhm.
and it's like, bro, like do the joke. He could have did that whole joke with the and made a good joke about a hillbilly guy who's like he's like I'm not saying everybody is. No, you should have said every single.
Yeah.
The joke should have been everybody that sells a gun talks like this.
Yeah.
That would have been funnier.
Yeah. It's the hillbillies like guns kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty low
But
hanging fruit
it is,
thing,
but
but
to say that it was the next joke,
mm,
that got that's what I wrote down.
good
Money under the
observation.
bed, more ghetto than, but says tutu. Come on, man.
Mhm.
But in general, the gun story, I feel like there was a couple pretty good funny parts in it.
Yeah.
Um, he's a great impressionist. 68 degrees is completely normal temperature. I don't know why he acted like that was not a normal temperature. I don't a lot of people
I'm
put their
trying to.
what temperature do you have your house?
Mine's
When
on
he was talking
69
about
right now.
having a cuddler, being having three different types of people, like somebody to go to the movies with,
Yeah.
a cuddler
Mm-hmm.
and something else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I said should have ended. He should have ended the special with the flashing joke when he flashed the old people at the restaurant. He could have ended with that.
Oh,
He could have ended with that. And then he did another joke where he went into his old joke that he's done for 20 years
yeah.
with the Krispy Kreme and the place went
I
bananas.
know.
And then he went on and did even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were several places that it felt like could have ended
Yeah.
somewhere, and he kept going.
And you know, I I don't know. I don't I don't know. I got a rating on here. I don't know if I should say it right now or
You
not.
want to say it, or you want to wait till I go?
Go ahead.
So I wrote down Jim the gun salesman. So same thing.
Yep.
The voice was. I mean, it's a voice that a lot of people do,
It's
but
standard, but it's
pretty good.
like to go back and forth. That's what I'm
Yeah.
impressed with. The back and forth with it. That's impressive.
Yeah.
And not miss it
And
at
not
all.
stumble, and
At,
yeah,
at all.
that's a pro. Yeah. Um, I wrote down. So one of the things that he, touched on that is like a topic and that every comedian touches on. The thing with the unhoused, the lady corrected him about unhoused.
Yeah. Remember, we're not going to do that. Remember
Right,
at the very beginning, we're not going to do
right,
that.
right. We're not going to do the controversial stuff. But the one really funny thing, like the first thing that I thought was funny in the whole set was that when he said, in that case, that doesn't make me fat, it makes me
Yeah.
unexercised.
Unexercised.
I
Yeah.
thought that was
That
really
was
funny.
good. It was good.
I
It
love
was
that
good.
line. Um, and I got the Jim the gun salesman, and then the stereotype weekday jokes. I I
Laughed hard at that.
I liked that.
Yes. I
I
thought that was really
I
good.
always like stereotype jokes, but
I did too. I did too. And
yeah.
I actually wrote down in
Some of them were kind of dumb, and
yeah,
I thought they could have been better,
I
but the
was
whole thing overall.
in the beginning I was confused on why he was upset with the Taco Tuesday obsession part of it. And I started realizing, okay, he doesn't want to be listed as just a Mexican,
Mhm.
but that's a big part of your show, like
He
but it
speaks
isn't.
Spanish to Mexican people certain like different times during his show. He switches to
I
Spanish
know.
for that.
So that I'm like, I like part of me was like, I've never been in that situation as a white dude who lives in America.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can't relate to it. So probably have nothing to say to it. I I get it. I loved all the white ones. They're
Yeah.
pretty good. They're
Yeah.
pretty funny. But then he was like, if there was more than one black guy, then it was urban night at the comedy club or
Mhm.
this night. And it's like, yeah, but if you want to bring in the right, like the comedy place, they want to bring in people that are going to enjoy your set.
Mhm.
And you say whatever you want. If you're a Mexican immigrant, well, there's going to be a lot of people that are Mexican that are going to understand your story and find it more funny.
100%.
I don't
Happens with
think,
every race.
but I don't think exactly, and I don't think that's bad.
No.
I don't know why that's a. I don't.
It
That's not to say that a white guy's not going to think you're funny.
Mhm.
But if somebody just met you and you're not just, but you're just starting out, that's, hey, let's get a little following behind us on, I'm not saying you're not funny to everyone,
Mhm.
but this is we can find a way to market this a certain way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was another thing. I felt bad, but I loved the jokes he did. I loved those days of the week. All three of them. All three races were good.
Yeah. I love the idea, and yeah,
But he hated
it
the
was fun.
idea. He literally hated it. He came up with those and hated it. And then he
Yeah.
told us why he only did a couple days of the week. And
Right.
I kind of thought that was the funniest part.
And then he finished it after
And he
that.
finished it.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that was the funniest part.
Yeah. All right, this is going to be interesting because that's all the notes I put,
Okay.
and it's and my memories has faded a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
But okay. Should we say them at the same time?
All right. I don't know if we're gonna be the same this like we were with one time, but all right. Ready? One, two, three.
3.2,
2.9. We're close.
3.2, 2.9.
2.9. That's
Yeah,
really
that is
close.
pretty close.
That's really close. I dropped it just a hair under the three just because, like we always say, three, watch it. Absolutely. Go watch it.
Sure.
Four, unbelievable. You have to watch it.
Mhm.
2.9, it's like, yeah, there's be some, yeah, probably.
I'll tell you, my thoughts went. I did have a thought of a high two before I wrote down 3.2, and I'm like, you know what? I really could be anywhere between 2.9 and 3.2. Honestly, maybe even 2.8 and 3.2. It's not a mid threes for sure
No,
for me.
no, not for me either.
But I wanted to. I don't know. I was trying to give him credit, but it's the same things that we've talked about a bunch of times. The it's hard. And you know what? I'll bet I don't even know if I would do the same. I might do the same thing. If I got really rich and famous and was playing arenas, you now you live a completely different lifestyle and
Yeah.
that's what you know and we all
And
talk about things
you talk about things you know, and that's fine.
but
There's a
it's just more unrelatable to
but
most
there's a
people.
lot of rich and famous people that are still really,
Yeah.
really good at this.
Yeah.
Really, really funny.
And don't talk about
Being
their kind
rich
of
and
lavish
famous.
lifestyle. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can still talk about your family and the things that happened in your family, whether you lived in a mansion or a one bedroom, whatever. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like you can still tell this, there's still stories to be told without the look at me, look at me.
Mhm.
I also know that once you get to that point, a lot of the people that surround you, the focus is there. They make you feel a certain way. There's a lot of that kind of thing. So you think what you are saying or what you have going on actually means more than it really does.
Yeah.
So you want to tell people that you took all the precautions and put a fence up, a security gate, and this, that, and the other, and 4K cameras, two different camera systems. Like you want to tell those stories.
Mhm. There are little spaces, yeah, all through there where he adds little details like that that don't necessarily have to be there, but they show
And
his level of
they
living.
put you above, right? They show you, you are showing people that you are above.
Hmm.
You are living above. And then also it's not about the stuff.
Yeah.
It's about life in the yeah, it's easy to say when you got whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's real easy to say, big dog.
Yeah.
It's usually who's saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I look, Gabriel Iglesias is not one of my favorite comedians,
Mhm.
but he's not one of my least favorite comedians.
Yeah.
I
I'm the
like
same way.
I like Gabriel Iglesias.
Mhm.
He's good. This is probably my least favorite I've ever seen him do.
Really?
Yeah. I
There's
think I liked his last one. Didn't I like his last one?
I
Did
thought
I
we were
not?
about the same maybe
Did we not like
on
it?
the yeah, I
Was it
think
bad?
because I think we talked about
It was
how
getting
there
that
was a
way.
lot of that
Was it
stuff.
doing that then
Yeah.
too? Yeah.
That was when he and his son smoked weed with Snoop and
Oh,
um that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Um yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying his success. He's playing massive venues
And
and
again,
has a
he's
huge
got a
following.
huge following, a specific type of following, which again goes against the thing to me. Like, if they find a group of people that are really into what you do, that's a great way to start, right? Let's get a following going for you.
Mhm.
Why is that a bad thing? I don't understand.
Yeah, I do love. I
And he
don't
did talk,
even.
sorry, he did talk
Uh,
about some of the best advice he got was to cut the cussing out and cuss the
yeah.
dirty out. I did kind of I like that. Like that's
Mhm.
it's legit. Like you can tell how good a comedian is. Like that's a good comedian that can go up there and do a whole set and not have to drop everything
Mhm.
and be dirty as all
He
get
did
out.
miscount.
Oh my
There
God,
was
yes. And he made it very clear that somebody in the audience was throwing up a five
yeah.
because he had done that in between. And it's come on, don't. Now you're picking on your fans.
Yeah. Well, all right. The good thing is it wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. The good thing is we move on to next week.
Yeah.
You know. Um, okay, so I have both now, which I'm totally prepared for, or we can do whatever we want. Um,
If you have both and you're prepared for it, I'm not going to tell you not to,
okay. All right.
because
The
I've
the comedy one's
I'm not.
the comedy one's really easy to me. Um, it's something I've been very excited about for a couple weeks. Big J Okerson is coming out with a two-part special.
Oh boy, Big
The
J.
first part is out now. The second one's out in like 2 months or something like that. 2 or 3
Okay,
months.
I like it.
Um,
I like it.
the only thing that I'm a little disappointed in is it's another crowd work special. Okay,
But
so
that's what he does.
that's what he does. Those are getting really popular. I don't remember when he didn't do all crowd work. You know what I mean? Like it's gotten that far. Um,
So it's 100% all crowd work. Like that's all he does.
yeah, from what I understand, yeah.
Because Big J, we've talked about this before. A lot of the best crowd work guys have their jokes. It's not specifically crowd work.
Yeah.
They're picking out specific people. They've got their jokes, or they've got a joke that can go either way, and they're picking somebody and they say something to them, and boom, they can go one way or another. And then it also leads them into their joke. No matter how they answer,
Right.
it leads them into their next joke.
Yeah.
And they'll do a lot of crowd work with it, but it's still a comedy special. Like I feel like
Yeah.
that's why Big J was so good,
Yeah.
because he had his whole set, but he involved the crowd, and then if he needed to riff, he could 100% riff
Yeah.
for a minute too.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about it, whether it's crowd work or whatever. But the two-part special is called Them They. So the first part is them. I'm sure it's gonna be. So here's the thing. So obviously he's gonna talk about stuff that the gender stuff and all that, which he's talked
Everybody
about a million
is.
times.
Yep, yep, yep.
But
But
I'm
Fluffy
more
was not going to do that. You know,
right.
Fluffy wasn't going to do it, and
But
then he did.
but right, exactly. But I'm more excited knowing that Big J is doing it than if
A hundred
Gabriel
percent.
Iglesias is doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's I mean, he just I don't know. Big J just finds a way to
Oh, so
to
good.
make it really funny.
He's so outlandish. So
Yeah.
outlandish.
It's gonna be dirty. If you're listening to this and you want to watch it with us over the next week, it's going to be dirty.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. That's just the comedian he is. But so there it
So
is.
funny.
So them, it's on YouTube, um, free of charge on YouTube, and that's it. Big J Okerson, them.
Love it. And it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. If I didn't mention it,
It's on the tube you.
tube you. It's on the tube face.
Let's do it.
Um, the other one, Mount Rushmore. I don't know. This might not be very good.
I like it. Let's do it. It can't be bad. I can tell you that.
It could be. What I wrote down this afternoon for a Mount
Yes.
Rushmore is worst rules in baseball. We could do worst rules in baseball. We could do worst rules in sports. Um, I don't know. Just
I'm good.
rules that don't make sense. You think they're silly. You wish they would go away. Should we do baseball or sports in general?
It's up to you. It's yours, man. I'm up for either. I'm up for either.
Okay.
And this is all time forever, or just something that what's right now a rule?
Uh,
Or like can we go back and say outlawing the dunk just because Kareem was dominant is a was a s- was one of the worst rules ever.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I say, yeah, we can go back, even if it's been abolished since then. I think you can go back and say, we're very glad that this rule is no longer in effect because it was so bad. So I think anytime.
Okay.
Let's let's
I
let's
want to go back in time and change the foul line in the foul pole to a fair line in a fair pole.
Mm,
I want to go back in time and change that so we can all say it forever and it feels normal.
hmm.
Unlike now where it feels really weird to say. I
Yeah.
hate that it's the foul pole
Yeah.
and that it's the foul line.
Right. Because it's fair.
It's fair.
That's yeah. I mean, that's just a like a vocabulary thing. It's not a rule though, you know.
Sure. You're right. That's very true.
Um,
I had a coach. Oh, never mind. This is going on a
please.
tangent. I had a coach who I'm sitting here talking to the kids about drop third strike, and if you're the catcher, yelling inside or outside,
Hmm.
where you're going to throw the ball,
Yep.
inside or outside. It's to the first baseman so that they don't cross, so the ball's not thrown across the line and hits the batter.
Right.
And I'm talking about it, and then he jumps in because he jumps in over me all the time, and he says, "If you're going over here, you got to yell inside, inside." And I said, "Stop! What did you just say?" Yeah, we this is inside and this is outside. I said, so you're telling me if you throw it inside the foul lines in play, you call that outside?
Hmm.
How is that? Well, it's on my left. No, I don't care if it's on your left or right. That doesn't make it in or out. This is in play. This is inside the lines. We call this inside.
Yeah.
This is outside. This is inside the game. This is outside the game. However you want to say it. What? Oh. Well, if that's how you guys want to do it, yeah. If that's how you want to do it with the team, they will do that. No, that's how you do it in baseball in general. Everyone does that. So annoying. Like, give up. You were wrong. It's okay. Oh, my bad. I do it all the time. I'm like, oh my God, that was stupid. Why was I even saying that? I do it all the time. It's okay to say, oh my God, that was so dumb. I can't believe that I thought like, what I'm sorry. My mind blew up for a second. I said something stupid. That's on me. I do that all the time. This dude was like almost in an argument with me. Well, I mean, if that's what you want to do with this team,
He's probably
yeah.
just trying to save himself in front of the kids, I'm sure.
No, it got worse.
Is that right?
You look stupid. You look more stupid.
Yeah. Well, I thought when you first said I had a coach, I thought when you were
When
playing,
I
like
was
when you were
playing,
a
no,
kid.
I got an assistant coach.
I gotcha. Um, okay. Big J Okerson, them on YouTube. Um, worst rules in baseball.
Like it. All right, worst rules in baseball. And now I've got my own little notebook I've been trying to do well with here. All
Nice.
right, yeah, I'm sure I will do that. Look, even got look, we got all kinds of stuff. We got horns, we got flex, we got what else did I put in here? We got Gabriel Iglesias, we got all kinds of
That,
stuff, baby.
that notebook would last me 3 episodes.
My notes aren't quite the same as yours.
No, not three. It's just comically little.
Yes, this is my Gabriel Iglesias notes, so it would be
Well,
nothing like yours.
you can fit a decent amount on there.
You
You
know,
can
I don't
write
know
some.
about that. I mean, there's one, two, three. There's four words on a line. So
Well, yeah, but you got like 5 different notes on there or something.
one,
That's pretty
two,
good.
yeah, sure. I had to write great at impression, gun story, money under the bed, more ghetto than you, but says two. None of it makes sense.
When he first said that, I thought he was like a tutu, like a ballerina
Well, that's
tutu.
what the guy was making fun of him for saying,
Yeah, yeah.
but it was not
But when he first said that, I didn't
you.
even register 22
No, oh
for a
my God.
second.
I'm like,
It took me like a
as
few
soon as he
seconds,
said it,
but
I'm like, oh, I immediately was rolling my eyes like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You can't make that joke. And then in my head went, you can't make that joke when you just said you're ghetto.
yeah, and it's
You
too
can't say,
simple a joke too.
yeah, you can't say you're ghetto and then do 5 minutes on tutu.
Yeah,
You can't do 5 minutes on it.
yeah.
I go to 2-8. Just kidding.
2-8. Oh,
No.
you wanna switch it.
uh,
But if I thought of another really good joke or two, you might be like, you know what? Maybe I'll go to a
yeah,
three.
I might get, I don't know if I can get to it. I don't know. Worst baseball rules.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I have such bad handwriting when I'm trying to jot stuff down fast.
That's all right.
Okay. So yeah, worst baseball rules. Big J Okerson,
Them.
them, and they
Part
will
two
be
will be
out
they.
in 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think it would go they and them, not them and
I
they.
thought so
I
too.
like that though. Switch it up on us, Big J.
Sure.
You think he has gloves on for this?
Yeah, I'll bet.
You want to say gloves? I say
I
no
don't know.
gloves. I
Think
say
so?
he's evolving.
He was for a while. He
Uh-huh.
stopped wearing gloves for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
He's wearing them again some days on the bonfire.
Oh,
Like
is he?
they don't even do video most of the time on the bonfire, but
Yeah.
like they'll put out little clips of stuff, and he's got them on sometimes in the studio when where no one else can
With
see.
fingerless gloves. Like I
Yeah,
don't understand it.
I don't know.
Like, he wants to be able to get on his phone. On that note, until next week, don't forget to turn your headlights on.